What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. How are you guys doing tonight? All right, so I'm back on Crowfall, and we're getting ready for a wipe in a few days. So it's right around the corner. So I'm just kind of messing around, doing streams, promoting the game as much as possible. And in this stream, I want to take the opportunity to explain when you get out of God's reach and you go into infected, to utilize infected to your advantage to farm discs and prior to going to campaign. Now, when you transfer a character to campaign, you'll get these transfer tokens. And depending on how many items you're equipped or in your bag, will utilize X amount of transfer tokens. So you need to be careful what you port over from infected to campaign. One of the things that are not affected by this is your build or your discs. And as you can see, I only have one green disc. Everything else is white except my racial. That to me is very important because it's harder to acquire these in campaign because it's a harder level of PvP. Now, to get your exploration, your crafting disc, you have to craft. So it's an RNG based drop based on crafting difficulty. Your harvesting is based on you going out and harvest and a chance of drop. And then your miners and majors drop off of thralls. And when you get, so I'm going to go out here and we're going to try to find thralls. Now, specific thralls have a chance of dropping majors, and then class thralls will have a chance of dropping minors. And that's where we're kind of at, but it's class specific. So if I bumped into a duelist thrall, more than likely it will drop a duelist disc or, of such. Same thing with a storm-based thrall will have a chance of dropping a storm-based disc. So, important, very important here. So, and once again, I'm in a PvP zone. So guess what can happen? I can die. Nice thing also about infected is if I die while I'm farming, they can't loot my disc, where in campaign, if I die, they could loot my discs. So I would rather take the chance of farming them in infected. In this way, if I die, I don't lose what I have acquired. So big difference there. Big difference. So anyways, we're going to go and see what we can find. The winds are blowing tonight. They've done such a pretty good job. Like I said, I've kind of, we'll kind of head around the bend here and then whatever. So I'm not going to gold farm. Typically, I've been gold farming. I'm going to put tutorials together also. But I figured in this live stream, we'll catch a couple of, try to see if we can find some thralls and farm up some discs. Now, if I find any alpha pigs or anything like that, we'll try to get that for the crafting belts, so on and so forth. Now, normally also I'd keep my eye out. Now, if this was actually live, I would also keep my eye out. It's a little laggy. I could see some of the resolution kind of whatever. Like I said, they are working on some of these known issues. So, you got to be patient with the devs. It's still, like I said, in closed beta. Now, when you see white here, that's a pretty good indication of a hunger shard. Yep. So this is a hunger shard, and usually thralls are located around hunger shards. Once again, I've covered hunger shards, but we'll say it again. A hunger shard over here is a node, and I cannot harvest this node if I had logging because the hunger shard is there preventing it from being harvested. And that can affect mother loads, and that's why people take out hunger shards. Well, typically I would be farming all of this. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'll go in there. Oh, Minotaurs. Yeah. Typically I'd be in there like barreling in and just be like, yo, man, I'm gonna, farm up gold and some items and whatever, but this is a whole different type of video. I'm on the outskirts. So, if I get like aggro, we'll try to run past it. I'm not I'm trying to get caught up by those. And it's just a ranger. Now, big white zone, once again, we see it. We know there's hunger shards. And if where there's hunger shards, typically there are thralls. Thralls are basically spirit essences. And that's how it works. Excuse me. My allergies have been really bad this year. 'Tis the season. But I hope you guys are having a very good day today. Yo, say it, my dude! What does the game's graphics remind me of Kingdom of... I never made that comparison. Actually, now that you mention it. Yeah, I kind of see where you're going with it. Yeah. I got mine on medium. I turned it up high, and it looks a lot better when it's on a high-end graphics. But yeah, no, I see it. It reminded me of kind of like Albion, too, in some ways. The buildings kind of reminded me of like Albion, I think. Dude, saying, if you end up coming over here, you definitely better get a hold of me, too, because I'll take you on my team every day of the week as well. Okay, there's a chest. I don't think I can get it because of the hunger shard. Oh, no, I can. All right. Once again, hunger shards, man. Now, after the wipe, I'll be focusing on my harvesting. Now, this is what I would recommend for people who are going to pre-order and get into the beta. When it launches, you want to get your harvesting skills and crafting up, because let me tell you, let's be all real. We're MMOers. We know the name of the game. Those who have the best gear have the advantage, and the best gear is what? Crafted. So that means you're going to need mats. And that means you're going to need characters who can craft, or know people who can craft. Even if you don't, because a lot of people don't have as much time. Let's say you don't want to take on both. I would recommend taking harvesting, because you can sell the materials to the crafters and then buy the gear. So if you ain't got a lot of time, you definitely want to still take up a harvest. Why? To sell mats. Okay? So I've always made that recommendation in the past. I'm like, look, man, if you ain't got a lot of time on your hand and you just want to try to spend the time to PvP, you still got to farm up discs. So take a harvest. Why? Because you can still get. Oh, I'll get the Griffin while I'm here. I typically don't mess with it, but we'll get it. We'll go get the Griffin. It's up. Alright. Sometimes it drops, a relic. A lore. It's worth like 100 gold or something. Lures are important. Sacrificing items is important in this game. You can use it for leveling. You can use it. You could sell some to make gold, and then others you can use towards campaign efforts. You know, so sacrificial items have a very important indication in this game when you come across some. All depends on how you utilize it. Hunger shard. You need a pick or a hammer to like usually dispense of the hunger shards. Now, once again, this is more like, you know, this is open, like more of an open concept when it comes to how you're going to approach it. You know, if I don't bump into anything, I could go ahead and port over to Tiggs. I think Tiggs had an area where a lot of thralls kind of spawn, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll check it out. You know, the funny thing is, like, I never thought I was going to get, like, there for a minute, you know, since a few months ago, man, my world was, like, turned upside down. I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena, and I'm already pre-set for the next card set, and I don't think a lot of my viewers, because most of my viewers are MMO players, but I enjoy it. And it was more casual. I didn't have to, you know, I could spend 30, 40 minutes on, you know, be done with my dailies and just be along my way. And MMOs, I was kind of in this funk because I was like, nothing's catching me. Like Final Fantasy, like when you get caught up in the story, you know, you're leveling other tunes. But, you know, I was wanting some PvP. I couldn't play... I couldn't go back to World of Warcraft with a clear conscience, and given, you know, the circumstances, so I think we got to throw right up here. Let's see. Yeah. It's just the soul. Probably doesn't going to drop anything but crafting material. Yeah. So unless it has like a little title over its head, like Pistolier or something, they'll just drop soul essence. You can sell soul essence, but to be honest with you, soul essences. Now that's another thing. When you're near hunger, I notice your food, you know, goes down faster as well. But oh my god, I'm not supposed to be getting a phone call. Oh, 1 second. Let me answer this just in case. Better not be a telemarketer. I'm gonna mute this for a second. And of course it was the telemarketer. Go figure. Go figure. I was like, better not be a telemarketer. I didn't recognize the number. That's why I knew. I got food in my bag, so I mean we're gonna be fine. We're getting close to the gate. That's a spider town, I want to say. I think. We won't mess with it. I'll just go around it. Like I said, I'm not trying to get caught up in, you know, any other type of farming. But yeah, so I just wanted PvP, man, and you know, I kept popping my head in and staying quiet in people's streams or checking out people's content for ESO, and the more I kept looking at it, the more I got upset. Especially with the new updates, and I was like, you know, what? And I called it like before. I was like, man, you guys, it just keeps getting worse. You know, that PvE infecting PvP. It's becoming so. Ugh. And it kind of hurts, you know. I was hoping they come out with some PvP sets, you know, that would actually kind of, you know, offset that garbage, you know. That's what I was hoping for. It'd be justifiable. Jack, what's up, my man? Are you coming across a decent amount of players or so bad? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The world is so big. A lot of people are in campaign. So a lot of people are in campaign. I was streaming the other day and like the Moongate had like probably 20 something people in there in the Moongate. That phone always knows when you're streaming. Absolutely. Jack, what have you been playing DC? I have not played DC in a while. In a little while. I might go back for you know, after this launches just to get caught up. You know, I go back to DC's always been my comfort game. Like when I'm in between games or something, I've always went back to that. I feel like Final Fantasy now does that as well for me. DCUO to this day, the reason I like DC is because of the combat system. And it's unique. There's not a lot of hero games left. City of Heroes is gone, so DCUO is still one of those unique systems. The game's combat system, by far, because of clipping, it has the best clip. This is like a Twitch mechanic like DCUO, but it's not as smooth. And I don't think a lot of people understand. Like when you play, anybody who's ever played DC, when you've gone from turn-based to a Twitch-based MMO, you like the first thing I tell people, you got to understand the best Twitch MMO is probably DC, hands down. I want to go to the tower, so I need to head kind of southwest. Oh, yeah, southwest. It's one of the best combat systems. Like, I wish there was more content, but I don't feel like that's like if they had enough support behind it, they could release a lot more content, especially with the new DC reboots. There, you know, you can pretty much go with any of the original story with the new reboot system to implement content. So I felt, and they've always done a very good job, given the fact that DCUO is, you know, an alternate universe based on Lex Luthor's, you know, repercussions of his timeline. So I felt like they've always done well with content. I mean, when we take a look at the Council of Batman and the Council of Luthor's, there was a lot, you know, a lot of really cool elements there that they went off of. And even when they were going off of the you know, what is it? It's off the top of my head, but you know, there's just a lot of good content there. You know, they did good. They did great. It's a really compelling storyline and stuff. I like the Titans. I'm glad they did it, but you know, a little lackluster content in my opinion. COH still lives. Yeah, they did. They brought it back, and thank God for that, dude. Make sure you get a hold of me, or too. So whatever, you know, so I can. You haven't streamed any? No, I have. Well, I haven't. I was gone for months, man. You know, last time I got to talk to you is when, you know, before the pandemic hit and it hit your country, and I was like, man, prayers, because we talked about it on that stream, and then weeks later it hit us. So. But they keep refusing everything for content, which makes gameplay so... yeah, that's the problem. But, I mean, the combat system's amazing still. And in a bit, still at work. I figured, you know, you're West Coast. But you got to get a hold of me tonight, for real, Oren. But, yeah, no, I took a funk with... Well, and here was my thing. So, like, I'm no longer in my field, right? But I'm very passionate about economics. And because of the pandemic, like I spent years studying economics. And one of my biggest things was economic history. In the adverse effects of economics in pandemics. So that goes for the Spanish flu and the bubonic plague. And me and Oren were talking about that. And the effects of how all of that transpires. So, of course, I get back into, the economic elements of economic contraction and hyperinflated market and basically all of these things. So for the last couple of months, even though I'm no longer in my field, I've been kind of adhering to what's been kind of going on. Okay, so we got a corrupted artifact. This is a good place to farm. I feel like it's going. That's kind of one of the bad elements too. Given the fact that there's a thrall. Just get soul essences out of it. One bad thing, man. This place will definitely suck your food out. You'll feel this shit. They're not called hunger sharks for nothing, man. I don't want to bump into bugbears. I don't want to aggro the bugbears. Oh, man. Give me a second. I'm trying to get over there. Now. I like some of the effects in the hunger areas. I'm not gonna lie, like when your ability effects kind of change the color and they have a different texture. Like some of the texturing, like I said, it's kind of simplified. But let's check the comments again. Yeah, everything's been so crazy, Annie, lately. How have you been? Very good. How are you, dude? And how did that job work out for you? Because last time I talked to you, man, you got a new one. Yeah, my girls are in the service industry, but also my family's in the medical field, so I'm well versed about everything that's going on most of the time. I don't listen to people. People are like, woo, woo, woo. I'm like, no, I don't listen to you. Why? I don't have to. I got my own people. But I think a lot of it got caught up drama, you know, and I'm just, you know, I want to go back to not giving a dang about the drama, man. You know, I wishing everybody the safety, man. That's, you know, that's all me, man. That's just about it. And you know, I felt like, you know, with Crowfall and all this stuff, that's the one thing I was really happy to see. You know, okay, 1 second, wrong button. You know, I probably should have brought like stacks of food. Jeez, man, this stuff is killing me. You know, I would have been a crazy mechanic if they would have added that. You know, like literally, like your life force is getting drained. Could you guys imagine that? Oof, oof. Oh, look at this. See, I'm gonna hate that. Oh well. How? How'd you? Wait. Die. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you guys want entertainment, go to the Druid forums in this game and go look at those guys, man. God, they are like... They're working on it. They're working on it. That's the one thing I was saying though with one player. Like one dude on there was really cool, and I was like, you know, we definitely need it needs networking. That's the only thing I think holding this game back are fine. And I can understand why they don't want the ability for players to cancel out how the combat system works. And if that's the case, right? If it is the case, the only thing I would recommend is speeding up the animation. Yeah, dude, this almost got me killed. This almost literally got me killed. This load screen. But they're you know, they might want to speed it up after they get the networking down, because some players are used to a not wanting to see they want a fast response system. I'm okay with it not needing it, because that to me, it does reflect a player's skill, understanding the abilities cast effect, right? I've always said, you know, you don't ever see mages just instantly cast the spell and then boom, they channel it, right? So I've always made that argument. So so I have an appreciation for games like that, like this, where it's more, you know, timing is pertinent. And if you're going to cast bigger abilities, those animations are reflection of the power of the effect that you're utilizing. Some players don't like that. And I don't feel like you have to sacrifice one for the other. You just kind of have to meet an accommodation and speed up the animation just a tidbit to give players a little bit more reactive time. Because dodge, like I've shown that I can dodge roll out of a spell. Like I can cast a spell, during a dodge roll, but it'll cancel out and then put it on a GCD. And at that time, then what do? You know what I'm saying? So I might take that base while we're looking for more. Yo, what's up? We had animation cancel, but they removed it. Oh, welcome, dude. I'm glad you, at least you know this game. I don't. So, yeah. So they did have animation canceling, you know, and I can understand why. I do. I get it. Like, so I have no problem with it. Some players do, but it takes on when you put animation canceling in, it causes a lot more problems, not for the game system, but for the combat system itself. So I feel like, you know, okay, don't do animation canceling, just reduce the, you know, the animation effect. That's simple, you know, shorten the duration a little bit, you know, to meet in the middle. Nothing major, because I do appreciate, you know, games that do have that. Because why? It's reflective. Now, once again, if you control a point, you definitely want to take advantage of getting this for not so much the loot, like the gear, because once again, crafted gear is going to be the, you know, whatever, but it's good filler gear, but, you know, materials, you know, crafting materials, especially if you don't harvest. But, you know, always be courteous of certain things that's going on, because in campaigns, a lot of people are trying to, you know, utilize materials like that also for siege equipment. So you guys want to take that in mind too. Don't be a you know, inconsiderate of the campaign effort, because in the end, whatever faction you're on, you want your team to win. So but I definitely feel that, you know, this game is like I said, once they get the networking out of you know, under, you know, locked in, this is going to be the title. And a lot of people, somebody was mentioning about the ESO, and I'm like, you got to understand, man. And the ESO was in the same situation in its beta phase when it came to performance. Like, you would see beta testers when they were allowed to upload content creators. They literally, like, were freezing in the middle of combat because of the lag spikes. And then we still had that after launch, right? I didn't test for ESO. That was the one game I did not want to test. I didn't want to test it. I didn't even try to. Because Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite titles as a lore. And I'm like, if I get butthurt off of Elder Scrolls Online, it'll ruin my any hope of ever playing another Elder Scrolls title. And you know, that's why I was a little scared about it. I mean, I already knew about the timeline and stuff, but it's still a prequel, you know, in a lot of ways. So I was like, no, I don't want near that title, man. No. I don't even want near it. So, definitely, you guys definitely want to take advantage of, you know, acquiring materials, especially for your disc, prior to going to the campaign. Campaign's great, you know, and there are friendly people. Like, here's the thing. Most of this community is good. There's a common courtesy. You know, here's the thing. Every game has some toxic players, toxic things. Just feed it back to them and shrug it. You know, just don't get caught. Don't worry about it. There are more good players out here in this game than there are toxic. You know, and if people take you the wrong way, whatever. Like, I heard this story one time about, and I already bumped into one of these guilds. I've already bumped into one of these guilds that are toxic. I'm going to avoid them. You know, that's pretty much about it. If they're on my side, if they're on my team, if they're on my alliance, I'll avoid them. If they're against it, okay, well, I'll meet up with you. You know? That's the way you handle it. You know? That's all good. Don't let other players discourage you from playing this game. And I think the community needs to understand that. You can turn players away from a game as a community. You know, in any game. It doesn't have to be PvE. It doesn't have to be just PvP. And some players will get a bad taste when they bump into the wrong type of player, or they get this sense that the entire community is this way. And it's not. But it's because of those few bad people that it ruins it for newer players coming in. I've already had a couple of you ask me about the community. And majority of them are great. Majority of them are great. I'm not going to lie. You will go to the forums and go check it out. You already get a sense of who the toxic people are. And of course, you guys know me. I don't deal with bullying. So, whatever. But you'll always have games that'll have toxic players. You will. And I'll tell you what, you know, I like that because it's just like, you know, this is supposed to be fun. It should not be where we're trying to turn away people. You know, embrace people for all around life, for all different. This MMOs is supposed to be a getaway. You can have fun, you can do the smack talk, you can do all that. You can do that. Just, man, you know, take it easy on people. You know, I'll be honest, growing up, you know, I didn't do bullies very well. Now, I don't like confrontations, but I don't like people bullying people. So anytime I saw people bully, I was like, pick on somebody your own size. And I would get in some people's faces. And I've gotten conflicts a lot because I don't like them. I don't like bullies and, you know, physical confrontations. And I don't like... Oh, this dude has a chance to drop a disc. You see it says Storm. Just doesn't say Thrall, so let's hope. And we got it. We got a disc. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So I'm a Storm, and I do have a green disc. One green disc. Everything else is white. But I need 3 of these to upgrade to a blue disc. And that increases my passive. So I hope I'm saying that right. Let me check this out. Or just allow controlling density of particle effects. Dude, that is a good idea, Space. Dude, I like that. Yes, dude. Ow, dude. Yes. That would work. That would. See, you can tell I'm not a programmer or whatever. I would just test. But no, that would work. Dude, that is amazing. Yeah. There's a lot of, like I said, a couple minor things, man. This game's just going to blow up. I do believe it. I do. Like, do I believe it? Yes. Aw, man. Just going to be soul essences. Now, one of the weakest things about this class, the strongest thing is the more I have on me, the better off I am. The least amount of resources I have, the harder I'll hit. But if somebody is actually smart against this type of build, the one thing I don't want them to do is take it nice and steady. Because that's what's going to be the bane of this type of build. Right? It's just... It is the one thing that I probably will say there's strengths and weaknesses in every, type of, build mechanic. Even if when you have flexibility as a gamer and you're able to come up with something sick, there's a weak point, right? There always is a weak point. In this scenario for this build, it is somebody who isn't trying to rush, but takes it steady, right? And that would be the bane of this existence for this one. So, like in a 1v1 situation, if they try to hit me with the hardest things, that'll backfire on them as fast as possible. But if they take it like that, and just use heavy, like, the heavy attacks, one ability, that will burn me faster than trying to, like, bum rush me. But yeah, I definitely am glad I've gotten back. Like I said, we've been keeping an eye on it. I was a little disappointed I didn't get a beta key on this though, like a while ago. I was like, what? And I was like, what? But I'm kind of glad I didn't now, because like I said, after the last update, I was like, you know what? We're in. We're going to make a financial contribution. We're going to, pre-order this. And I'm actually glad. Now, I'm hoping the devs hand out some beta keys to content creators. Not necessarily me. I don't care if it's me. But, like, reach out to Blazin, a couple of those other guys, and try to get more people in trying it. It promotes the content creators, first of all. And that's a good thing. Second, it promotes the game, and then you get a lot more feedback. It's just a beta key, not a purchase. So it just gives them the chance to play the game. If they like it, then you have potential more customers who are willing to pre-order it. So once they do open beta, and I hope they do not skip open beta, I hope they do weekends on open beta prior to launch. Why? Server stress test. Actually, I would actually put open beta probably after, not this next coming update, but the update after that, because you want at least 2 months to allocate your server and networking capabilities prior to a full launch, because this way you know how many servers you're going to, how many servers you're going to need, structured servers, and what the net, and try to increase netcode. So if they can do that, then they're going to have a much smoother official launch. A lot of the times I see a lot of companies mess up, not in the development phases, because no game's ever ready, like 100% ready for a launch. It's not practical. It is not. Trust me, I've done this forever for companies up until launch. I used to do this for companies. And then their launch fails. And I'm like, it is what it is. And I don't think that I think this game is not going to fail. I think one of the biggest things that this game has, like I said, an advantage, it's a unique concept. It brings back the PvP that players have been, thirsting for. So to me, this is a win-win. This is nothing but a win. The thing about it is trying to, smooth it out and make sure that when you officially get that launch underway, should I, we'll take the gate. We'll move on to the next area. But I think that's one of those big things, right? To just make sure it's a smooth launch, get it all out of the way. Now, like I said, I'm not keeping any of this, but like I said, I'm just streaming and showing off the content of the game and trying to get a lot more players to come over. I'm hoping, I've already got a couple people who got a hold of me that are interested. Some people have jumped, like Oren. Thank you, Oren, by the way. I appreciate it, man. I can't wait to play with you. Irish is thinking about grabbing it. Excuse me. But if we get people like Lobo, Despotic, Fang, Purple, Unreal, we get those guys over here. Yeah. Like that's going to be significant for this title. Not just to add to the quality of PvP, because let's not kid ourselves. The quality of PvP is based on two things: the game mechanics and the players playing it. Right? You at any point you want certain type of players playing your game, especially as content creators. Why? Well, one thing, they can be controversial, and more people talk about something, the more people flock to it. Controversy brings, attention. That's good, that's good business, right? That's good marketing strategy. Second, it will also, take the community and push them to their limits. You definitely want to do that. You don't want a community to be settled in and thinking they understand everything. You want those type of alpha mentality to set the bar, right? You want them. You want those type of players in here. You want players to come out with something so ridiculous. People will be like, nerf it. That's the first thing that people will complain about. They'll complain about like certain disc percentage or combos of disc, or why does this discipline, get these minors. You want that because it's going to be a balancing issue. Or, this healer is not in holding up in comparison. I don't agree with setting meta. I always want to fight against the meta. That's something I do. Because why? It's what breaks meta players. So when you come out with something that goes against the grain, that's way more efficient because they thought they knew. Well, then the complaints start rolling out. When the complaints start rolling out, devs are kept busy working, but then it does what? Draws more attention. Because players are wanting what? The most ridiculous builds and classes for their buck. They don't want to have 15 characters. They're like, what class is doing the best right now? That's what I roll. They want the easy button. And you always have to hit what? Reset on that bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to use the B word. But you want to reset. You want to hit the reset button. You want to. To do that is going to be a boon for this game. It's a boon for any game, to be honest with you. Well, and then we'll drop down this way. Hold on. Let me check the comments out. Divide and conquer to find what kind of man you are. Quibo Pro, indeed. Nobody gets your love. Oh, it's my favorite little stalker. He's back. Whatever. Dude, you love to hate me, man. Are you going to follow me in every game? Actually, I got a lot of compliments on that last song, too. But thank you. Alright. Trying to figure out where... Okay, yeah. We'll head this way and then we'll break down. Hard to say. Everybody say hi to my favorite stalker. He's bored. The funny thing is, I don't even play ESO. He's an ESO player. I left Elder Scrolls, what, a year ago, guys? Jeez. Some people, man, ain't got nothing better to do. They hate, all good. I honestly think we'll get a lot of players interested in this. And we'll do good. We'll do great. This channel will do good. And I think all you guys have stuck with me. You guys have. Some of you have stuck with me. I know the ESO community wants me back. I know that. And to be honest with you, here's the deal. If the devs would get it together, I'd go back. But they're not. They're not going to. Let's get real. It's been how many years, and they still do the same thing. They still do it. They still put PvE in front of PvP And then PvP gets all of this nasty, PvE gear infecting it. And then next thing, and it just people were complaining constantly. It's not the combat system in Elder Scrolls. It's not the content. It's the fact that they keep putting one horse in front of the other. And that's why I said, do not go linear on an open-ended game. You want to feed both at the same time. If you favor one, the other gets put on the back burner. And that's going to affect your player base in that element. You cannot afford to do that. You can't. It's because when a game like this comes out, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose players. Because sooner or later, I said, if a PvP game comes out that's dedicated PvP, Elder Scrolls is going to lose more players in PvP than in PvE. There's more players playing PvP in Elder Scrolls than there is PvEers. That's a huge chunk of change. The only reason the PvPers are playing PvE content is to stay competitive. That's it. That's all. We know that to be true. We know that's the truth. And it's unfortunate, but what are they going to do? Well, they have to, tell the PvEers, tough luck, we made a mistake, we're redoing things. And that's not going to fly that way either. Like I said, I mean, this day was inevitable. It was going to be inevitable. And that's why you take a look at Fortnite. Why is Fortnite so popular? There's a lot of games that were before it and are like that. But why is Fortnite so good? Well, one thing, it's performance. Not the graphics. The graphics really aren't all that, right? In comparison to some of the other titles. But its performance is there, right? And it caters to the dedication of those players based on that game style. It doesn't have to, as long as it doesn't deviate, it's going, and it brings out new content to feed the players, they're going to be fine. They're going to be. But ESO just lost sight. And I was hoping, I was like, man, tell me you guys are coming out with some gear to be competitive in PvP. Tell me. I'll go back into the sewers. I'll go farm another content. If you put the gear there, I will do it. I mean, I have done PvE content too. I mean, I much prefer doing content nobody else does. That's what I liked in the ESO. I like coming out with Death to the Meta, right? I like coming out with more diverse capabilities to show off the possibilities of ESO, not the limitations of ESO. That's why I made that content. That's what separated me from the hundreds of other content creators. That's why I had my target audience. But the biggest thing about it was, and I stayed relevant for quite a while. The biggest thing about it was, though, at the end of the day, they just kept, forcing people's hands. And when I could not get around having to use, a certain set because it had an extra stat to it, I knew that was my time to bow out. Because it wasn't about the content, it was just the limitation. I'm like, now everybody is going to do the same content. Everybody. You've just put all the content creators into the same pool. You just put every player into the same pool. You just did that, and that to me was when I knew I was gone. I had to leave. And I've been waiting for a day that they might come to that realization, but they haven't. And to this day, I'll still love the game, and I'll love everything that Rich and the team did. Believe that. I'm never going to take away from what they actually put into it. I'm not going to sell it short or anything. I'm just going to say it for what it is. It's not in a hateful manner. It's in a despairing, context. Alright. I can't find many thralls at all. Where are the thralls? We'll head... Yeah, definitely south. Alright. I think another gate's over here. Yeah. But, yeah. Honestly, I think at the end of the day... And I could see, this, like I said, this game's going to be really, it's going to be fine. Oh, elementals, Oh, wrong button. Eat some more food. No, I like I said, and then Final Fantasy. I can tell you what, I could play Final Fantasy quite a while, but sooner or later, I want PvP. That's what I did in in Star Wars. I started off craft. I ended up unlocking my Elder Jedi. Like we had these things called holocrons in SWG. And it was random. So I ended up becoming a crafter for my first holo. I was a pistolier. And then I was like, oh, what? What do I got to do? I got to craft. And I didn't mind it. I've done crafting before. But I really did pick up a lot of crafting. I think that's when I really started enjoying crafting in more MMOs. Because it was really kind of cool. Because I built an entire town. So I was actually pretty impressed. And then, every game I went from there, I was looking for that crafting. Because in SWG, that's how you had the best gear. Was crafters. There was no drop. There was no drop gear. None. None. No drop gear whatsoever. We're going through it. Where are you, thralls? Oh, 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 oh. That's whatever. Thrall farming, thrall farming. Where are these thralls? You know, I haven't bumped into a, you know, if it seems weird that I'm avoiding the forest, it's for a reason. Two reasons. I noticed there's a lot of bogbears, whatever, especially if you're trying to harvest leather. But I never see typically a lot of thralls in the forest. So I always usually see them outside of the forest. So usually, you know, I kind of avoid the forest areas. You know, I've been trying not to say they haven't. I just haven't seen a lot of any really spawn in the forest as of yet. So. You know, I don't mind hitting elementals, but at some point in time, I'm not. I want to find my. Hey, yo, man, you two are supposed to aggro. I was about to say, is those trolls? No, those are elementals. Eh. I think that's going to be the one thing that players are definitely going to be spending a lot of money on. And they'll definitely adjust prices when the game launches is discs. Like, I know gear's always going to be gear, but the ability to acquire better discs, especially after this update, I think that's going to be, you know, when this game goes live, it'll be relative. A lot more anyways. No. Let's come down here and then we'll cut around. I'll enter the hunger area just to see. I was hoping to find a thrall boss. There's thrall bosses too. Ooh, what? Like, I'm still unfamiliar with a lot of the map. I see a lot of hunger. So, you know. I hope they do like a video, an introduction video during launch. That would be kind of cool, just to kind of get people like, because there is no like questing in this game, but to give kind of like a backstory, it it always kind of helps, just establish what's going on and why are these islands split up, and it kind of gives players an identity of what the game, where their conception was. So I hope they do that. A lot of games do it. ESO does it. World of Warcraft does it. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just, introduction video, minute long, giving a little, kind of backstory, 1 or 2 minutes. It'd be cool, for sure. But once again, budgets. Just because you want it doesn't ever make it happen. Why? Because there's budgets. I know a lot of people are like, why didn't they do that? It wasn't in the budget. That's why we're missing rivers and lakes in this game. No, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just making fun. I'm poking. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. We can't put rivers and lakes. Water's not free. Sorry. It's beautiful though. I love this zone. I hope they put mobs in this area. I hope they do, and they add those, a different type of elemental, something creature elementals would be really cool there. Besides thralls, have animals that are been transformed from living to kind of some kind of elemental form. That would be really cool in that area. That would be sweet. I'm feeling that. Oh, what? Let me pull up here. I didn't think I saw. I saw the deer. A deer, a female deer. All right. Oh, I don't know, man. I got one disc. One. I got some other cool stuff, but got some corrupted roots. That's a lore. We got some soul essence. I got the arcane scroll of runic. 2 arcane scrolls of runics for the shields. That's so cool. Not that I'm keeping them, but like I said, taking notes, taking mental notes. Everybody asks me how I end up remembering this. I have a photographic memory. It's another reason I like MMOs. Just, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where to get that. Let's go over here. It's going to be a race. Race. I'm finding a bunch of hunger shards, but no thralls. Where are the thralls? Bring forth the thralls. That would be another thing I'd like they have the world bosses. I don't want to take away from the PvE or PvP content, but could you imagine putting a random huge spawn where people are fighting over that spawn because it drops material for no other reason? I always like that. The one thing I think ESO did do good, and I will give them credit for this, is put in those artifacts because people are fighting over them. I'm like, see, besides the scrolls, which people are always fighting over scrolls. Why? Because of the emperor title. You know, if that's their whole goal. I want to be the emperor. Oh. No, thank you. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. But you know, but for people who want to chase that, you know, you give them like a hit stick in there. This game would be like kind of cool. Just like every once in a blue moon, something spawns and get like everybody's fighting over it. So you got this giant NPC of a troll or giant or thrall, and then next thing you know, everybody's fighting over it as it's killing everybody for fighting to kill it. That would be hilarious. No, we want to kill it. You're not killing it. No, you will die. Our faction will kill this thrall. And that thrall's like, you know what? I'm just killing all of you. You know, I'm not trying to even pick which ones are going to die. Y'all are going down for trying to take me down. We must make a truce. No. Only one faction shall loot. Like, look, there should be water here. There's no water here. They'll add it, I'm sure. I'm just picking. It'll be awesome, I imagine, when it does. Because look at this. I love the trees. I love the texture. I love the shading. Actually, I really do like the shading. The moon, nighttime in this game is amazing. Like, that's one thing I really do. I do like the nighttime in this game. Oh my god, it's simply amazing. You know, the wind factor's cool. I could pick on I pick on trees a lot, but it's not just this game. It's every game. I don't think there's a game I've actually ever looked at a tree and said that is the most accurate, beautiful tree I've ever seen in my life. Never have I said Never have I said. All right, let's go to the gate. Ugh. I am so disappointed. I am not finding any thralls. We're just kind of bouncing around. Is there something down there? Probably not. And I love these carvings. That's really cool. I love the carvings. I like this game, man. There's a lot of really cool things they've done here. I'm psyched. I love the animation, the load screen art. Something I'm really into as well. Like I said, just networking a few little things. This game will be blown up. It'll be blowing up. Let's just hope. You know, that's probably where I would be investing. Who's the best network coder in the world? How much is it going to take for you to work for us for at least 6 months? Okay. We'll head down this way. Sure. Oh. Gots to eat. Oh man, I hope I'm not running out of food. No, I got kebabs. We'll be fine. Alright. yeah. I think like a majority of the time you're going to spend in this game is looking for certain areas to farm. You'll be farming, and then you're going to fight it out. You're going to duke it. No, this is my farm spot. It reminds me of UO, man. I love those days. God, I love those days, man. My alarm's going off. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh my. Oh my. Yes. Oh. Yes, I got a disc that I cannot use, but at least I looted a disc. You got the hunter disc. I saw the hunter. I was like, oh my god, look at that. Ranger. This is what you'll be doing. Get used to this. This is the reality of the scenario. You'll be like, throw heaven. Just like I did back there. There's thralls. And you'll be hitting mother loads, trying to get harvest parties together. And as you're harvesting, people will be trying to gank you and campaign for your gems. You'll have to have, higher protection, bodyguards. Don't let them hit us while we're hitting this thing. Don't worry, man. We got you. And then here comes a giant, guild, steam piling through. God, I'm looking forward to this, man. I can just see all the nasty potential scenarios occurring. And it could happen. If it could happen in this game, it will happen. I promise you. That's why I'm pumped. Why are you so pumped about this game, Mystic? Because it has no limitations. If you want to progress, you have to go into the PvP zone. You have to. There is no safety areas. Except the level area. Other than that, it's fair game. You could be totally in some deep doo-doo and you don't even know it yet. I wish you the best. But yeah, I think at launch, this game's going to be that's one of those things that we're definitely going to be you might and it's faction based. So let me explain this also as well. This game is faction based. So if you see a friendly, you don't have to worry about him killing you. So there's 3 factions, right? There's Sun, Moon, and Earth. Okay. Those are the 3 factions. So based on those factions, you could be harvesting, pumping up to friendly, okay, no problem. But all of a sudden, the enemy faction, there could be very well a problem. Graveyards, I think they definitely need to spawn more graveyards in certain areas. Especially for the essences and necromancy and all that other stuff. I'd like to see a little graveyard on top of this hill. I think they spawn. I'm not sure. We're pushing it. Most of this game's going to be about exploration for most players. Other players, you know, the more they're aligned with certain individuals and guilds, you know, pulling resources together, that's always really cool too, to get objective done. The one thing I always tell people too, what I'm always skeptical on is people trying to take advantage of people's kindness. I'm not with that one either. You know, people who don't want to put in the work but benefit from all the rewards. Why? Because their name's on, you know, the commander's list or some shit. I mean, crap. I mean, on the commander's whatever. Sorry. I'm trying to get used to not swearing. But I don't know. I'm not bumping into anything, George. Bumping into a lot of animals. A lot of nodes. Thralls just are random. It's not like you can, on the map it's like, area of thralls. This is going to be probably one of the most difficult elements for players to get are their discs. And hence why we're covering it today on Mystics MMOs. Be prepared to whatever. And I mean, it could be as simple as going out and harvesting. You know, you're out on a harvest, next thing you know, thralls spawn. Hey, whoa, let's kill these things. I might pick up something I need and I might not. Alright, I'm going to take it one more quick pass and we'll call the stream. But at least, you know, I mean, I only bumped into, what, 2 load screens? So that's a good day. I feel good. You know, like I said, a couple minor things. Minor. This game's going to be awesome. And, you know, and I want to thank the people who's backed it prior to this. You know, if it wasn't for you guys, you know, this game may have never, you know, came to fruition. So, guys, thank the people who's backed it. Thank the people who's been here for years. You know, thank the people who's developed the game. Thank you to all the individuals who saw, you know, an opportunity that the industry has overlooked for a number of years now. And I would like to thank those individuals because, you know, we've been dying for it. Look at this. Look, see? This game's going to do good. It'll do good. It'll be fine. It's going to be good. Flowers, though. I wish there was more flowers for chemistry. I wish there, instead of like minerals just in quarrying and stuff, I wish there were flowers. And, well, there's already herbs, but flowers and stuff for different type of, you know, potions and stuff. Like, you know, a spawn of like, you know, right here on this dirt patch, like there have been a spawn of like a node of a patch of flowers or something. Like rosebuds or something. There's a field of roses that just spawned here. Get those rosebuds. You know? You could literally put that like with something like like some other form of gathering. And that could happen in the future. You know, that very well could. It could be one of those expansion type things. So, but there's always room for that. So, like a lot of people are like, well, how are they going to ever come out with an expansion? What do you mean? There's ways to do that. There are definitely different ways to build on to a game like this without, and once again, adding, the perks and the benefits. Once you open up a PvP game, you have an endless amount of where you can go. Doesn't always have to be levels. It doesn't always have to be PvE content. That doesn't always have to be, how to expand a game. That's just not. Like Star Wars Galaxies, one of my favorite expansions was Jump to Lightspeed. It was just a different form of content with PvP in space. And I was like, yes, thank you. Ta-da. They didn't really go too into it, but at the same time, it definitely worked towards its advantage. So, all right, nothing. My luck just stinks. So let's just go ahead and we'll wrap this up. I'm gonna port. Check out, see if there's any more comments. All right. Any idea how many islands there are? Well, I'm not familiar. Like, I should have opened up the map. When you open up the map, it will tell you how many islands. I want to say there's like in Infected, there's 4, and I want to say there's. I'll have to check campaign. I'll go over there real quick. Thanks for the stream. No, definitely Space. Saying what for a second year ESO is not including this status in in the statue in collector's edition. They haven't? That's weird. That is weird. Like I said, in ESO, let me go ahead. Hold on. Let me switch out real quick and we'll in ESO, like I said, like this last when I saw the last chapter notes, I knew I wasn't getting it. I knew it. I was like, I left a year ago. Like I said, I left a year ago. I was like, there's no way I'm getting this. There's just no way. Right? Let's go look at the map. Okay. So, there are 4 islands. In campaign. Should be 4 in Infected as well. Yep. 4. 4 islands. I thought there was I knew there was 3. So that was a good question though. But anyways, man, yeah. If you guys got a PC, I would recommend this game. It's going to be great. It is. It's different, but when it comes to here's the question I have to ask you. Let me ask you this. You come home from work, right? You had a long day. A lot of times you have to farm on the weekends, right? Because that's about as good as you're going to get to acquiring what you need in PvE to PvP. So you only have around, 2-3 hours to really enjoy your downtime on whatever game you're playing. And do you ever feel, now here's the question. Do you ever feel that you're tired of jumping through hoops to enjoy the time that you have off work? To have to log into a game that you can't just do what you want to do because you have to keep farming PvE to PvP. The reason I ask that, because in this game, you can PvP and still accomplish your goals of getting material to become a better PvPer. You're not sacking one for the other. Right? And that's the way it's been. That's what's happened to PvP. That's where it's gone. That you have no choice. You have to spend time doing something you don't want to do what you do want to do. And you're paying them to do that. If you're tired of it, come over. Join us at Crowfall. All right, once again, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Have a nice day.